Well, down here in Ohio, following this shady character here with maple plate. Man, I don't know. This might not be good, guys. Stay tuned. Oh man, look at here.
I got an extra one.
Then there's this guy.
Yep. What do you want to know, dude? You want to take a tour?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ask me questions, because I can talk, but I can't, like, yeah, just ask me what you want to know.
Well, why did you buy a factory?
Oh, because I got evicted from my parents' house. It got too big.
Is there such a thing?
No. Not to me. Everybody else is shocked. It's like, what do you think I was doing?
Dude, the tap hole wood is awesome.
Yeah, tap stained maple.
I mean, that is sweet. Where did you find that? Did you have that sawn yourself?
It's just rejected at the mills. And typically the Amish mills in the area. I just got a guy looking for it for me.
That is cool.
Put it down on like a chair rail. You'll like this one. This is, I entered my bourbon barrel aged maple syrup into the International Maple Syrup Contest, and it was rejected. Yeah, I framed it. If they knew I was framing it, I probably wouldn't get it. Heck yeah, dude.
You gotta be kidding
I have
me.
all my rejections. Bank rejections, I frame it all. Heck yeah.
So what's this picture down here on the bottom?
This is my family sugar house. Same building, opposite ends. So this is like...
Where it all started?
Well, yeah, early 1900s.
So are you third?
Oh, I'm sixth, buddy.
Sixth?
Yeah, long time. I was using buckets that my dad's dad was using. Here's something cool. This guy, the guy in the picture, that's pole vaulting at Ohio State University. Look at the size of that mat.
Are you kidding me?
I know. That's my great-grandfather, or great-grandfather. This is George. So my son's pole vaulting this year. He's the first Bissell to pole vault since that guy.
Are you kidding me?
Isn't that cool?
That is really cool.
Yeah, a little history there.
Your son's doing some pretty cool stuff.
This is the finance office. I don't even like being in there. This is where the dream squashers work. They just say no. Something about budgets.
Sounds like my wife.
Every sugar maker's wife. So this is all the different companies we've partnered with over the years. Very expensive beers. Like this is like a $900 beer, $100 beer. A lot of different beers and bourbons and stuff.
That is awesome.
This is where we make syrup.
This is where magic happens, huh?
It is. I think you'd like this. There's a picture of Ronald Reagan standing in front of this building.
Are you kidding me?
Isn't that cool? That's 1960 was when that picture was taken. And I found this on eBay for like 15 bucks. It had Thor on it. It was General Electric and it was the same year. I thought it was cool.
That is really cool.
This is my dad making syrup. We used to use a little wood-fired 2.5 by 8 foot liter with the airtight front. It's kind of how it went from a D&G 2x6 to that to this.
And that looks like a 4 by
4x14.
14?
Yep.
Steam away.
Yeah, it makes a lot of syrup.
That
That's the
is
part I
sure.
love, man. We're getting further and further away from it, too.
Why is
I get to live vicariously through you and everybody else.
this is sharp? So was this already here and you guys just
No, I
used
found that there's a little place in Cleveland called HGR that's like a bunch of industrial.
Yep.
So what I do is when I see stuff, I think I paid $200 for that platform. You can't buy steel.
No, not even close.
Put the little sap tank up there for my head tank.
Yeah, this is sweet. That's nice because you get really consistent head pressure having it up like that. That's one thing I might have to switch around on mine.
Get up in the air a little more.
Once it gets down to about
Sap Spy thing on there.
yeah.
I'm using like a Sap Spy light, something that we just picked up years ago. That's not as cool. Need a transducer. This is the original part of the factory. It was built in 1939. So this is the original building. And it's just the ugliest part of the building.
Wow.
Remember those dream squashers? I want to redo this, and they're like, no, budgets.
They don't look
I want to redo it. So
It actually looks really good for, I mean, think about it. It's going on 100
this
years
is
old.
the ugliest part of the building, yeah. So little pieces and parts. It's not worth it for us to be in the maple equipment business.
Yeah, because didn't you start in it a little bit and then
I did, and then I realized like it's just not worth it.
was it more location or was it just not worth it in general?
Well, it's just I buy syrup from huge farmers, and Ohio's full of small farmers. So I really can't. We found that with the vacuum pumps, we can win. So big vacuum pumps, big farmers, lots of syrup, selling 10 buckets and
Yeah.
spouts. It just isn't. We just tore that wall out and put that I-beam in.
This is a 24-inch I-beam?
It's 30 inch.
30. Jeez, oh, criminy.
Yeah, I bought 2 of them, and they said I only needed 1. I was going to put 2 of them up there just to be safe.
Was it starting to get a sag here? I see it looks like it's a...
No, there was a wall there.
Oh, okay.
That's where there was a wall, and we needed more room in shipping.
I see. Very cool.
And then finished goods is looking a little lean. Looking a little lean. I see a lot of empty space in here.
Wow.
Try to keep about a month of inventory ahead. This is about a half a month. I don't like that. Makes me nervous, but they can fill this quick. In a good production run, in like a week they'll fill it.
Wow.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
So how many add-ons is there to the original piece here?
Oh, it's all piecemeal.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Like, this was added on. This is the original blast doors. So they did light bulbs here.
Yep.
You'll see these blast doors have rope.
Yep.
And then there's chain with weights on it.
Yep.
So if there's a fire, the fire will burn the rope, and then the weights on the chains will go down, we'll close the door. Of course, we don't have anything flammable, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
This is our one loading dock. We need more. We're starting to wear it out. It's more of like a speed control now. It's like speed bumps. You can see that it's rippled. So we put so much tonnage across one plate of steel that it's actually starting to warp it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's time.
What struggles did you have to go through to get this to be able to do what you're doing here? Was there any extra, because it was already commercial, it was pretty much good to go? Industrial? Okay.
Industrial's the way to go. You don't really need, so if you think about all the factories in America, imagine if you had to get a permit to do anything in a factory, you would just think about that. You would just slow down
Yeah.
progress.
So it was pretty good, easy transition to do it?
I recommend anybody who wants to be in Maple, and they think they're going to be in Maple 10, 20, 25 years, get a factory. Don't waste your time like I did. I wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars putting additions on Little Sugar House. I could have had this paid for. But I had to learn a lesson. So you can learn from my pain.
That's
See all
some
the
solid,
scars? You should learn from the scars.
that's some solid information, man.
So this is our sugar operation.
Yeah, let's go check that out.
Sure.
Oh, there it is. The coveted bulk tank.
That I haven't installed.
They haven't installed. Didn't even get to use.
Nope. AUC was over. We now have Daniel built a temperature control that connects to your phone or iPad, so the guys know what temperature each pot's at. This is low tech, but inexpensive. That controller right there is what's going to let people know.
Yep.
So if they have to go do something, they can walk away and know what the temperature is.
Check out them burners, man.
Heck yeah, dude.
So I'm assuming all natural gas here being in town. That's
cheap.
that is nice.
Natural gas is very cheap.
I just love how everything's inside. Like, you're never affected by weather. You're able to keep everything nice and clean. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this place is spotless.
They do a good job.
This is really...
If I was doing the work, it would be filthy. So, I'm just a hog. I'm not designed to do the same thing every day.
So this is your sifter?
No.
What
That's
is
a
this?
auger. It's a ribbon blender.
Okay.
It actually converts it from the molten syrup to the sugar, falls down into the vats, and I can show you the sifter.
Okay, yep.
Show you what I'm into. My permeate tank. My 1 RO I have left. These guys are doing some work on a drain that was broken. This is the sifter.
Okay.
This is what sifts all the sugar. This is the screen. So you can see it. This is where we had some damage, and this is what the company recommended we do to fix it. Patch it up with stainless.
Interesting.
Because there's plenty.
Do you know what mesh that is? Is it like a 10 mesh, 12
It
mesh?
is 10 mesh. And then the paddles move around,
Yep.
and it pushes the sugar through it. And then we have a metal detector now, which I haven't shown on YouTube yet, but that can, I'll show you the size of metal it can find. It's ridiculous. They were playing jokes on each other the other day. One of the guys put this inside a box, taped the box up, and it went through. He kept running it through, opened it up, and he found this right on top. But that's all the bigger it is. See that little piece of metal that's inside that plastic?
That's crazy. It's a BB.
Yeah, it's not even. It's like a ballpoint pen. But yeah, this thing works well.
So
But
what?
you can see why we needed it. I'll show you over here with the sifter. This is an industrial sifter. This is like 80 grand if you want to buy one of these brand new. But all of these little nuts and bolts, I mean, it would have to go through the screen, which is not likely. But you have so many little pieces of potential metal to get through that's why we
In
have
the
it.
finished product.
Yep. This isn't mandatory. It's not required. But I sure feel better. This thing's a beast.
It just takes one scenario and someone to open it and then just...
Well, the reason we...
That dang Bissell, I found a bolt in my...
Yeah. The reason we bought the screen, we're using this as a hammer mill. This is a sifter. So we were putting bricks of sugar through it. And it was just mowing through it. We're like, this is great. And then one day they heard, tick, 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 tick. So we damaged, that's a $10,000 screen right there. So I'll show you what we did. We bought a lump buster, which, it's a thing.
It's a...
This is a lump buster. So you take this machine.
It just never stops, does it?
Look at that thing.
Wow.
I'll put the light on. We tested it yesterday. Let me put a light on for you so you can see down inside. Look inside there. Takes the big chunks,
I'll be darned.
breaks it down. So we needed a guy like this.
Looked kind of similar to that metal crusher you see on that, like, Most Satisfying
YouTube,
thing.
yeah,
YouTube,
yeah.
and it's sitting there like eating like ball peen hammers and
Or
stuff.
a piano. You know, they throw anything in there. Yeah, this thing, it definitely is going to have a guard on it. Because if it gets a hold of you, you're going through it.
Yeah, there's yeah.
So,
Well, it is that 2-3 horsepower motors on
two,
each.
3 horsepower motors
Oh my
on
gosh!
BFD inside here. So yeah, this is pretty sweet.
Wow.
So they're building a stand. So the fabricator's building a stand. The stand will actually sit overneath. That's a word I just came up
I
with.
love it.
Over top of a auger hopper is what this is called.
Yep.
So this will take it. You can see the size of the chunks sometimes that come off the
Oh
ribbon blender.
my gosh! I thought mine were terrible.
And what we do is we tried throwing it through our sifter. It's not designed for that.
That is not designed for that. I can see it. And those are bigger than golf balls.
Yeah, those are like, you could make an Adobe hut with one of those. Like you could build a house. They're bricks. They're hard as rocks.
And there's so much sugar sitting there.
Oh, there is. There's thousands of dollars sitting there.
Oh my gosh!
So we've just been collecting it until we get the lump buster.
So I seen your one video of all the dust and everything from this. Will that reduce some of the dust too? Because it's not sitting there
Really
beating
good.
it so
Let me
much?
show you what will reduce dust. Having these socks on the end of, so this is our filler that we don't have hooked up yet, but there's a rubber sock that goes on the outside of a hot, here, this way. See how there's a little rubber?
Yep.
You actually want everything kind of enclosed.
Yep.
So when it goes from one stage to the next,
Yep.
we need those socks hooked up to things.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was watching that and all the dust. I'm like, man,
Oh, yeah.
how many pounds of sugar are they doing to create that much dust?
Doesn't take much.
That's insane.
So you want to see the bottling line?
Yeah.
We have two. One is installed, the other one's being installed. Let me turn it on. Oh, there's tape on that light switch.
Uh-oh.
Don't use it.
Lockout, tag out.
So my jug line is underneath here. This is all for plastic jugs.
How much do you do in plastic versus glass?
It's like 75-25,
Okay.
but it's about to become like a lot more plastic.
Okay. Is it for shipping purposes?
Customers, whatever they want.
Okay.
So when they tear down, these are called auger hoppers. So at the end of the day, they just take them apart, clean. But this is our bottling line. Most everything runs through these kettles, filter press, pump it over to the other side. It's easier to see it from inside. You guys take it off? Yeah, I want to show you something. Okay. They just tore everything down and cleaned it yesterday. Finished up some sugar. But kind of built this company on these forehead fillers. We still use them quite a bit. I'm a big fan. Apparently they've named it Jacques. Okay. Yeah, we pump a lot of syrup through these things. Way more than it was ever designed to do. You got to rebuild these about every 1,000. You know, when I say rebuild, new O-rings, there's a cup seal in there. So basically, every time we run, we got to rebuild them.
Wow.
These you got to rebuild on every 1 million models, but they're $8,000 a piece. That was a couple years ago, so these are probably 10 to 12 now. But each one of these, you know, $8 grand, but you can run 1 million bottles before you gotta rebuild them. So this is more industrial, but this is predominantly we run our glass in this line because the glass gets vacuumed and cleaned with this inverter reverter. So it sucks any potential, cardboard glass out of the bottle, moves it through, and just flips it over, and reverts it back, goes through the line. Cappers, big fan of cappers. If you've ever had blisters for capping, these are nice to alleviate that. We all have. And sometimes it doesn't work right. And guess what we have to do? Grow your own gloves. So this inverts, reverts, so it turns the bottle over so the hot syrup hits the cap. As soon as you do that, instant kill of any bacteria or fungus. So,
And do they stay upside down, or do they just go?
you just go over enough that the hot syrup hits the cap.
And then flips right back.
At 193, it kills everything.
Oh, you're bottling at 193.
Yeah. If you go over 193, you need a filter again.
Yeah, I always had trouble like pushing that 190 in mine, but I had a water jacket, so maybe that's a little different than.
We do too. That whole thing is a water jacket.
Okay.
But 193, so you pretty much got to run boiling water in your jacket. So, yep.
Very cool.
We wash the bottles off. Then we air knife the droplets off. This is kind of a cool machine. It's called a neck bander. You can stand and watch this thing all day. It just puts a little thing on it, like a neck band.
Yep.
And then this thing will shrink it on. So we don't run that unless the customer needs it.
Yep.
So it's customer specific. This is an inkjetter. Puts a lock code in the date. You can even timestamp. So say there's a quality issue. and you find it, and then you can pull lots until you can find where the numbers match up. It's kind of nice. Instead of sticking stickers on the bottom. This is the labeler. This can do front, back, trapezoidal, wrap. This is probably the most valuable thing on a bottling line. If you ever build a bottling line, David, make sure your labeler is the fastest piece of equipment.
I'm just gonna
Which
bring
it is. This can do like 100 bottles a minute. You want your labeler to be the fastest piece of equipment on your line.
I'll just bring it down to you and have you do it.
So, yep, this is the glass line. And then everything we do is with these kettles. We just weld a ferrule on the bottom. And this is how they wash drums. They boil water, stick the drum right on the spray ball.
Yep.
And then hit the switch. Just hit it with hot water. Real high tech.
Wow. That's one heck of a hood.
That's a heck of a hood. You can find those pretty cheap. Not too many people need monsters hoods anymore. What they could say is my team cleans and they clean some more.
That is, I'm thoroughly impressed.
I've been waiting for this moment. I have been. To show you my tanks. Because if you notice, they're named after the Great Lakes. I've got Superior, I've got Huron, I've got Ontario, and I've got Erie. I'm missing one.
Lake Michigan.
Not putting a Michigan tank.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, they do a lot of blendings. We actually blend these sap tanks. So there's $100,000 of syrup in that one, $100,000 of syrup in that one, $100,000 of syrup. That's as commodity to the farmers. So this is 4,500 gallon tanks. And it's gotten us to this point, but we're actually looking at expanding the cooler and putting vertical silos in because that takes up a lot of space. And we really need vertical tanks. So if you've seen any of the videos where we go to Bascom's, or you just see these big, massive vertical silos. That's where we're at. Like, this got us through. You couldn't order tanks during COVID, and then after COVID, so these sap tanks came from Vermont, and we use them for syrup. A lot of syrup.
That's
What's that? 4, 8, 12, 16,000 gallons of storage right there. That's not a lot, though. So we'll blow through that pretty quick. And then these are just drums of syrup. Once we grade it, so we bring it in, we grade it, we got to store the organic, gets a tag with, weight, flavor, all sorts of things that they know. So when they go to blend syrup, they can look on it, it's got a barcode that we don't use yet. We need to start using. I paid for these barcode scanners like 7 years ago. No one knows how they work.
oh,
So I'll show you the lunchroom. It's that upstairs. See, normally I'm touring everybody else's sugar and operating. It's where I do my laundry. Stay over. Get some laundry done. I hate this blue. This is the old GE blue. And we've been slowly but surely painting it brown and green. The Bissell Maple Farm colors. Lunchroom. They are decorated for Easter. So everybody gets their name on the wall. So this is all Linda. She does all the decorating. Bissell Peeps. That's clever.
so what's this here, Nate?
I think somebody made that for me. Yep. Maple syrup. Somebody had that made. I think for a Christmas present. Apparently we need refrigerators. Don't have enough refrigerators. I don't know why we have refrigerators everywhere. See, this is the brown I like.
Yep.
The brown and green. One of the cool things is, we'll go in here just to kind of show, is these are all GE. All we did was fix some plumbing and had kind of nice bathrooms.
I'll be danged.
And this is going to be the office, like for Jess and her team.
Okay.
So we're going to have a little bathroom up here, little glass door. That's a cool painting that I had done from a picture. When we first moved in, we were doing sap. So he's a dairy farmer, he's a crop farmer. He hauls our sap, and Joe's my dad's best friend and helped us basically revamp this building. There's two old farmers sitting over a sap tank.
Love it. So is this your perch where you watch everything going on, making sure?
No. When things are going well, I need to be in another country. So you want me when things are not going well. When things are going well, you want me away from here. Because I'll get bored and I'll make problems. That's kind of the nickel tour. This is our lab, which I'm excited about. These doors are from DS Specialty. So this is from Steve Sample. He's up along the northern route of New York State. And he does something called window curtain. When I first bought this factory, this glass frame showed up, which is part of the bottling line. See that big glass window?
Yeah.
I said, Steve, what do I owe you for this? He says, nothing. He said, I wish somebody would have helped me when I first got started. So that frame was all done. We just had to buy the glass. So he does like, you know, Dick's Sporting Goods, Skyscrapers. I think every Lidl, which is a grocery store chain in the DC area. So when I said, hey, I want some doors and stuff, I knew where I was going to buy it. So
Wow.
yeah, we got to get these up and put the glass in.
Very cool.
There'll be a double glass door right here. Because when you have lab techs working, you want them to be like zoo animals. You can say, look at them, don't feed them. Yeah, this will get cleaned up. We added the windows.
So what are they going to be doing and testing in here?
All sorts of things. We got to test moisture all the time on the sugar. Grading, you know, so density, flavor.
Inverts.
Yeah, inverts in process. So when it comes from the farmer, they're all different, you know, densities, colors,
Bricks and
taste. So what they'll do is categorize it all so the team can blend based on flavor. This is a really important room. The lab is super important. So
Do you have one right now, or is this going to
yeah,
be?
we do it, but it's in the front office,
I see.
and we need to move them closer to where everything's going
Yep.
on. So yeah, this will be busy.
So basically, they'll be dropping off right outside this door, the barrels, and they can test it right here and then move it to another
Actually,
spot.
we get it on the dock.
Okay.
But at some point, we're going to put an addition on the back, so the syrup comes in the back and flows out the
The
front.
front, yeah, flow, yep.
So they test incoming raw materials in process. So that means like once they do a blend, you need to test where that blend is. And then you do finished goods, which is what everybody forgets. So farm run syrup, what is it? What, you know, categorize it. When they do a big blend, those big tanks, you got to know what's in there.
Yep.
Because the customer wants specific color, flavor. It has to be the same. People want it to be the same.
Uniformity. Yep.
Yep. And then the third thing is finished goods. So if you, it doesn't matter what you do up front. The customer's buying what's in the bottle, the tote, the drum.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. So everybody likes to know what's the drum from the farmer, the big tanks, you know, the blends, but you really need to know what you're sending the customer.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to open a bottle because that's $7. Right? It's a gallon jug. Heck, we'll open a tote.
Yeah.
You know, like why? You need to know what you're sending your
Yep.
customer.
Yep.
And that's the farmer side where you're just like, I don't know if I should open this.
Yeah.
You have to.
Quality control.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. It's the little details.
It'll cost you more not to.
Yeah. Yep. Then your customer's very happy with the consistency, and you don't have to worry about anything else here.
So we're starting to experiment more with these totes, sending totes to farmers.
Okay.
There's a company here in Cleveland that manufactures them brand new, and then we like them. You know, farmers like them.
Yeah.
It's a lot. When you're making 500 gallons an hour off your evaporator, totes are better than drums.
Well, that's what they put honey in and all that.
Yep.
So why not syrup?
We haven't figured out how to hot pack it yet.
Ah.
So it'll just crush down inside. It doesn't really matter. So you good? What else you want to see?
Is there anything else? Where are your bourbon barrels?
Oh, I just sold them all.
Did you?
2 shipping containers just went out. We emptied them all.
Because there was a huge stack right over here.
There was. You're about 3 days late. Those are all going to Scotland.
Wow.
So.
Well, thanks for the tour, man.
Yeah, heck
This
yeah.
is great.